this edition of UCF Sports Night, we get an inside look at a UCF family as we introduce you to Tracy and James Prosser. And women's soccer is on a roll in conference play. We check in with Coach Amanda Cromwell. All that and more next on UCF Sports Night.
UCF Sports Night is brought to you by UCF TV.
Hello and welcome to UCF Sports Night. I'm Jeff Sharon. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got a big show for you today, including a look at the women's soccer team with their head coach Amanda Cromwell. But first, let's take a look at what their counterparts did this week, the men's soccer team, as they stepped out of conference on Tuesday night at the soccer complex to face Mercer. Let's take a look at the highlights. The Knights offense came up very big against the Bears right off the bat. 12th minute of the game, watch the beautiful cross from Nick Robeson to his fellow New Zealander Ben Hunt, who heads it in easily for the first goal of the game, 1-0 Knights. Then Camilo Rendon ropes this one, overpowering the Mercer keeper for his first goal of the year, 2-0. 5 minutes later, Adam Kramer gets a hold of this cross and plants it in the back of the net, 3-0 UCF. And then the cherry on top, after a gorgeous series of passes off the deflection, Rendon again cleans up the mess, his second goal of the night, making it 4-0. The Knights would put the Bears away, winning their final non-conference regular season game this season.
Coach was talking to us about in the locker room. He wanted us to get off to a quick start, and we did what he asked for. The team came out with a really quick start. We were able to, I guess, what we were missing before was communication, and we communicated right off the bat, and that's when goals just started happening one after another, so it was a good start today.
Men's golf had a big tournament out in California at the Prestige at PGA West. The Knights come home with another top 10 finish. Nuno Enriquez finished tied for 14th place overall, going 2 over par. Friday night at the venue, volleyball took on Rice on Dig for the Cure night, and it marked the return of Lauren Williams to the lineup, who posted 7 kills in her first game back in a long time. Erin Campbell led the Knights with 10 kills, and UCF got a career-high 15 assists from Jen Ballou. However, Rice showed why they are one of the best teams in Conference USA as they defeated UCF 3-0. Meanwhile, out in Houston, same two schools, different sport, though. Becca Thomas picked up the game-winning goal in a third consecutive match as UCF gets another big conference win, 2-1 over the Owls. And the cross-country team finished up their regular season with a 4th-place finish at the Hatter Invitational in DeLand. Ocean Cohen was the top Knight, finishing in 7th place overall. Erica Whites also finished in 11th in the individual standings. Back to Bright House Network Stadium on Saturday for the football Knights' big matchup with number 9 Miami. A stadium record crowd on hand of 48,453 people there to cheer the Knights on. And the defense responded in a big way, sacking Ja'Cory Harris 6 times and holding the Hurricanes to just 1.5 yards per rush for the entire game. On offense, Rocky Ross caught a touchdown pass for the Knights from Brett Hodges. However, the Miami offense was able to break through, and the Canes go on to get the 27-7 victory. Back to the venue on Sunday for a busy sports day at UCF, starting with volleyball against Houston. Erin Campbell had another big day for the Knights as the senior dropped 11 kills on the Cougars, plus 5 digs and a pair of aces. UCF also outdug Houston as a team 40-39, yet despite those efforts, the Knights would fall to a very talented Houston team in 3. Later that same day at the soccer complex, the men's team took on first-place Marshall in a huge Conference USA matchup. This was a very physical battle with both teams struggling to gain an advantage. But then the Knights turned up the pressure on the Marshall net, and in the 58th minute, they broke through. The Knights get a run at it here, and Jeff Simmons finds Yaron Bacher, who fires from the top of the box, and it curls in for the goal, the 3rd goal in 4 games for the captain. That made it 1-0 UCF, and there it would stay. The Knights with fantastic defense down the stretch. The Knights advance to 6-4-2 on the season and get back to 500 in conference play. Meanwhile, out in Houston, the roll continued for Becca Thomas of the 12th-ranked women's soccer team. She scores another pair of goals, both of them on penalty kicks, the second of which, with 4:31 left, was her 4th straight game winner. And UCF finishes the Houston sweep by beating the Cougars 2-1. They remain all by themselves in first place in the conference. And of course, for all the latest news, scores, and features on every UCF sport, log on to UCFathletics.com, your online home for UCF sports 24/7. Don't go away. Coming up next here on UCF Sports Night, siblings always share a special bond, and for the Prossers, that bond extends to coaching at UCF. We visit with Tracy and James Prosser when UCF Sports Night returns. Fans, join the volleyball team on October 23rd as they take on East Carolina on 90s night at the venue. The first 200 fans in attendance receive a free UCF slap bracelet. More information at 407 UCF 1000 and at UCFathletics.com.
So in 1975, the United States ranked 3rd in the world in percentage. Must be the new guy. Guess you can say I was with you guys the whole time. New guy.
UCF and the Central Florida Research Park have helped create 41,000 jobs and contributed about $3.3 billion to the regional economy.
3, and that's only new girl.
So if it seems like your company's growing, it probably is. UCF stands for opportunity.
Hey Orlando, it's time to get away with your UCF Knights. You won't want to miss a minute of the action in Bright House Network Stadium this season. Single game tickets are on sale now. Don't be left out. Armor up, Knights fans. Call 407-823-1000 or log on to UCFathletics.com for your tickets today.
Welcome back to UCF Sports Night. College coaches often look at their teams as their family, but for two coaches here at UCF, one of their colleagues actually is family. James Prosser is an assistant coach for the UCF men's soccer team, and his sister Tracy is an assistant strength and conditioning coach here at UCF. They share a bond that's not just brother and sister, but black and gold as well. We got a look at James and Tracy Prosser in our Sports Night Spotlight.
James and I are pretty close. Close in age, close in just being brother and sister. I mean, we actually live together. And don't get me wrong, it's good, but it's bad. As all, siblings, if you have a sibling, you're gonna understand that, you have moments and issues and just being brother and sister. So it works pretty well for the most part.
We're within the department, we're around each other, and then at home we're around each other as well. So I can't say that wouldn't bring us closer together because we do spend so much time around each other. But at the same time, we also give each other some room to breathe a little bit, knowing that we each have our own personal lives as well. So yeah, we've definitely gotten closer as siblings, I'd say.
We're originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I went to Xavier University in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I played on the women's soccer team. About 5 years ago or so, I was looking for a job, and this UCF job was open, so I just sent my resume, applied, and Coach Ellis brought me down. I work with women's basketball, volleyball, and men's and women's soccer. And then I assist with football when they're in the weight room.
I went to college at Butler University. We had some good teams. We were 3-time NCAA tournament participants. We had visited as a family. We came down and visited here in her first year, just to see how she was doing, see the campus, see the area. When the position opened up, I put my application in. Again, I told Coach Cunningham that I'd met him a couple years prior to when I visited Tracy here. And I hope to say that maybe she put a word in for me at the time, or I'd like to say that my background has helped me gain that position. I've got three siblings, Tracy and two other siblings as well, and I'd say 3 of the 4 of us played the sport of soccer. And my father was very instrumental in coaching us and providing environments for us to thrive in and to grow in, and just creating that passion of the game in us. So yes, definitely soccer is a major part of our family.
You know, I think we had the drive for the most part growing up to be able to help make ourselves better and go out and work for it.
There's a big competitive side because we are so close in age, that I won't say that there is a separation between us, but at times we do get competitive.
Has it brought us closer? Yeah, I think it's brought us closer because it's helped me to understand what sport coaches deal with on a regular basis, and it helps him to understand what I go through on a regular basis and what the different things that I think about and worry about for their teams.
So I'd say Tracy, is one of my closest friends, in addition to her being a sibling of mine as well.
Well, the UCF men's soccer team heads out to Birmingham to face UAB this week. For more information, visit UCFathletics.com. Stick around. Coming up next here on UCF Sports Night, the women's soccer team is on a roll as they vault up the national rankings, and we visit with their head coach, Amanda Cromwell, when UCF Sports Night returns. Knight fans, join the men's soccer team on Wednesday, October 28th, as they take on Kentucky in a huge Conference USA matchup at the UCF Soccer Complex. More information at 407 UCF 1000 and at UCFathletics.com.
An innovative anthrax vaccine, promising research on cancer, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and advanced laser developments. In their search for new answers and better solutions, UCF professors are awarded millions of dollars in research funding each year. Needless to say, we're all quite proud of them. UCF stands for opportunity.
Hey, Knight fans, check out all the latest UCF action on UCF Sports Night. Join us as we recap all the highlights of the week from every UCF sport, plus all the features and interviews that take you inside the world of UCF athletics. If it's UCF sports, it's on UCF Sports Night. You can catch UCF Sports Night all season long on UCF TV and also on Bright House Sports Network and Sun Sports. Check your local listings for details.
Game day getaway. Hey Orlando, it's time to get away with your UCF Knights. You won't want to miss a minute of the action in Bright House Network Stadium this season. Single game tickets are on sale now. Don't be left out. Armor up, Knights fans. Call 407-823-1000 or log on to UCFathletics.com for your tickets today.
Welcome back to UCF Sports Night. The UCF women's soccer team is on a roll this season, and joining me now is their head coach, Amanda Cromwell. Coach, thanks for taking some time for us.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, the last time we talked, it was right before the Florida State match, and that so far has been the signature win this year. You guys have really stepped it up this season so far, gotten some big wins. How has this all come together for you and the team?
Well, it's been a good year. Obviously, getting that Florida State win was huge, and it's propelled us, to other wins. And I think we are a confident team that knows we can play with and beat anyone in the country. And I think we've shown that, with our RPI and our rankings. I think we're getting the respect now nationwide.
I was just going to ask you about that as well. With RPI, you guys are in the top 5 in the RPI. How important is that going forward, not just for tournament positioning, but also getting that recognition across the country?
RPI is huge. It's the most important factor as far as the NCAA selection committee and everything. So for us, for the coaches, I think the RPI is the most important thing as we look at other schools, how they're doing, because it really brings in the strength of schedule and how your opponents are doing and what kind of season you had overall, so your whole body of work. I think the other rankings, they're definitely more subjective, and they kind of are going week to week. So they look at your last big win, and so they don't really take the whole body of work necessarily. So you saw from Soccer America last week, not even ranked. We were top 5 RPI and 14 in another ranking. Not even ranked for Soccer America, and I think we went to 12 this week. So
yeah, that's bizarre.
You know, it's just some of those. It's fine. Like as long as we're getting the respect, I don't mind. And also our girls, like to see that. I think they like to get that recognition. But again, we promote the RPI just as much because obviously that's the highest one we have. So again, we use all of them to our advantage, and especially in recruiting.
Tell me about the team so far this season. What has been this team's biggest strength, in your opinion?
Our biggest strength on the attack has been you can't close down one player. You can't just stop one player because everyone is scoring. Courtney Whitten has been our top scorer. She's fantastic in front of the goal for sure. But any player at any moment can score. We showed that all season long. And then on the defense, I think it's just been a solid unit. And that especially came out against Florida State. I don't think our back line and goalkeeper could play any better. We've had different games where the defense played better, the attack played better, and we still haven't peaked yet, which is good because we want to bring our best soccer late in the season. But we're working on things, looking at film, and we know our defense can play better and our attack can play better.
I know you guys are never satisfied, and that's a good thing. And I'm sure you like seeing that from your players. What are some of the things that you want to see your team work on throughout the remaining part of the schedule?
A little bit on defending the counterattack. We get exposed sometimes when we attack with so many numbers. So talking with our midfielders about their shape to help out the back line so we don't get caught in numbers down scenarios. And then also just on the attack, just being a little bit more efficient on set plays, whether it's corners or free kicks, and then finishing the chances that we should really finish. I mean, we scored some great goals this weekend, but we could probably have had 3 or 4 more goals.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about now with the upcoming schedule, the Houston road trips in the books. Now you got SMU and Tulsa coming up as we come towards the home stretch. What do you see in the last part of your schedule as we are now not that far away from the conference tournament all of a sudden?
Well, SMU's a team that's hosting, so they're going to be very desperate as far as getting wins and making sure that they're in that conference tournament. It's only 6 teams this year, so it's a little more cutthroat than previous years. And both those teams are very good, have had good wins this year. SMU had a tough schedule early on, so they've been tested a bit. They've played some very good quality teams, so we know it's going to be two games, and all on the road. You always have to bring your best.
Well, we've seen so far so good, and like you said, it's great seeing the team that high in the RPI. It looks like it's going to be an exciting remainder to the season, and we're looking forward to the rest of it. Head coach Amanda Cromwell from UCF Women's Soccer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Don't go away. Coming up next here on UCF Sports Night, we've got our plays of the week, plus a look at the week ahead in all UCF sports. Don't go away. We're back in a moment. Knight fans, the nightmare is back. Season tickets for men's and women's basketball are available now. More information, including ticket prices, at 407 UCF 1000 and at UCFathletics.com.
Game day getaway. Hey Orlando, it's time to get away with your UCF Knights. You won't want to miss a minute of the action in Bright House Network Stadium this season. Single game tickets are on sale now. Don't be left out. Armor up, Knights fans. Call 407-823-1000 or log on to UCFathletics.com for your tickets today.
Hey Knight fans, check out all the latest UCF action on UCF Sports Night. Join us as we recap all the highlights of the week from every UCF sport, plus all the features and interviews that take you inside the world of UCF athletics. If it's UCF sports, it's on UCF Sports Night. You can catch UCF Sports Night all season long on UCF TV and also on Bright House Sports Network and Sun Sports. Check your local listings for details.
It's a long season. There are Saturdays we steamroll our opponents. There are nights that'll make you cry, but it's worth every bead of sweat when you get the call to play in the bowl game. So for making our dreams become reality, we salute our bowl partners. This is Conference USA. Competition lives here.
We are
Conference USA.
We are coaches, teachers, motivators, and mentors.
And our game education is key. Skill is rewarded,
and sportsmanship is paramount.
We develop strong students
and smart athletes.
And every one of us is committed to keeping our game forever great.
Conference USA.
15 years and going strong.
Welcome back to the show. We'll get to our plays of the week in a moment, but first, here's a look at some news and notes from this week. In women's soccer news, Becca Thomas has picked up a few new awards. She's been named Conference USA's Offensive Player of the Week, Bright House Student Athlete of the Week, and she's been named to Soccer America's Team of the Week. Becca scored the game-winning goals in both of UCF's home victories last week against UTEP and Colorado College. Also, Nikki Moore was named the conference's Defensive Player of the Week, thanks to her outstanding defensive efforts in those games, as well as picking up a goal against Colorado College. Thomas and Moore are the 5th and 6th different UCF women's soccer players to take home conference honors this season alone. It's also the 2nd time UCF players have swept the conference's weekly awards this season. In football news, defensive end Darius Nall has been nominated for the FedEx Orange Bowl Football Writers Association of America Courage Award. Nall was nominated this past week in light of his returning to action after having surgery to remove a cancerous mass on one of his lungs. After sitting out last season, Nall is back with a vengeance and is tied for the team lead in quarterback pressures. The winner of the FedEx Orange Bowl FWAA Courage Award will be announced in December. And big news from women's basketball. Junior Emma Cannon has been named Conference USA's Preseason Player of the Year by the league's coaches. She's the first UCF Knight to pick up that honor. She was also one of just 2 unanimous selections to the preseason All-Conference First Team. Last year, Cannon averaged 15.5 points and 11.6 rebounds as a sophomore, helping UCF to its first ever Conference USA championship. Emma and the Knights begin their season with an exhibition game against St. Leo at UCF Arena on November 8th. Time now for our Sports Night plays of the week. Play number 3, volleyball against Rice at the venue. And what a return for Lauren Williams as she comes back from injury against the Owls to lead the way for the Knights with this kill, plus a few more. Play number 2, men's soccer against Mercer. Watch Nick Robeson here with a gorgeous move on the sideline. An even more gorgeous pass across to his fellow New Zealander, Ben Hunt, who heads it easily inside the far post. Watch it again as the 2 New Zealanders hook up for a big goal against the Bears. Play number 1, same game. Watch this gorgeous sequence of passes from the Knights. It leads to a deflection in front of the net, and then Camilo Rendon cleans up the mess to score his 2nd goal of the game and of the season. Watch it again here as Milo comes flying in from the left side of your screen, helping the Knights knock off Mercer at the UCF Soccer Complex. And those are your Sports Night plays of the week. Plenty of road action for the Knights as we look at the week ahead. It starts with men's tennis on Thursday as they head to the University of Georgia for the 2nd time this fall to participate in the ITA Regional Championships. That event goes through Sunday at the Dan McGill Tennis Complex in Athens. Friday, volleyball is at home for another homestand as the Knights take on East Carolina at the venue. First serve is at 7 p.m. and the match is live on UCFathletics.com. Elsewhere on the road, women's soccer is in Dallas for a big matchup with SMU. That game gets underway at 8 p.m. And women's tennis gets underway as well as they are up in Auburn for the ITA Southern Regional Championships. That event goes through Monday. Volleyball is home again on Saturday for the 2nd half of a back-to-back. They face Marshall at the venue at 7 p.m., and that match is live on UCFathletics.com. Football, meanwhile, is on the road in Houston, Texas to take on the Rice Owls in a Conference USA showdown. You can hear the game live on the Knights' flagship station, 740 The Game. And men's soccer is also on the road in Birmingham, Alabama. They face UAB. Kickoff for that game is at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Women's soccer is in action on Sunday. They face Tulsa out in Oklahoma. Kickoff there is set for 1 p.m. It's a big week for the men's golf team as they tee off in the Isleworth Collegiate Invitational in Windermere. Action at Isleworth Golf and Country Club goes through Tuesday. And the women's golf team is also in action. They're down in Fort Myers for the FIU Pat Bradley Invitational. That tournament goes Monday and Tuesday. And men's soccer has a midweek matchup in conference with Kentucky at the UCF Soccer Complex. That game kicks off at 7:30 p.m. and you can see it on UCFathletics.com. On the air, tune in for the George O'Leary Call-In Show, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. Join the coach and the voice of the Knights, Mark Daniels, as they talk UCF football every Thursday live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Waterford Lakes. You can hear the show on the Knights' flagship station, 740 The Game, or at UCFathletics.com. Also, tune in to West 2 every Sunday at noon for UCF Sports Today with Coach George O'Leary, presented by Holler Classic. Join the coach and Pat Clark for insight, analysis, and in-depth features. Again, Sundays at noon on West 2 and also on UCF TV, Bright House Sports Network, and Sun Sports. And a reminder, you can catch UCF Sports Night every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on UCF TV. The show also airs on Sun Sports and Bright House Sports Network. Check your local listings for details. And for more information on all UCF sports anytime you want, log on to UCFathletics.com, your online home for UCF sports. And of course, if you want to catch this episode again or you want to see any of our archived editions of UCF Sports Night, you can anytime you want online. All you've got to do is visit UCF TV's website, which is www.ucf.tv. Well, that'll do it for us for this week here on UCF Sports Night. We'll catch you again next week. For all of us here at UCF Athletics and UCF TV, I'm Jeff Sharon saying thanks for watching and go Knights!
Hey, this is LT from 101.1 WJRR. You're listening to the best sounds of area music. UCF Athletics, Access Magazine, and WJRR are proud to support local artists. You can find more great artists by going online at www.wjrr.com and also accessmag.com. And by listening to Native Noise each and every Sunday at 11 o'clock.
UCF Sports Night is brought to you by UCF TV.